it's Bex here from Rise and Reach, and today I wanted to share with you my 3 top tips to help you get started with social media and get over the overwhelm, because I know how overwhelming it can be with social media. There seems to be 101 different channels that you can use. There seem to be new ones cropping up left, right and centre, and it's really hard to know where you should be and what you should be posting as well. So here are my 3 top tips to get you started. My first one is, remember that you don't have to be on every single social media profile. Unless you're a social media manager, and if you are, then you probably shouldn't be watching this video, then you really don't need to be everywhere. Just pick 1 or 2 that really work for you and concentrate on building a great audience on those 2 channels. So for me, I really love Facebook. So I'm always on Facebook, always in my Facebook group of creative biz stars. I'm always posting on my page, hanging out in other groups. So that is where I really like to put my time and energy, because I enjoy it as well. And it makes so much difference if you actually enjoy the places where you're hanging out. I also really love the visual, different visual types of social media. So I am making this year, I'm concentrating on building my following on Instagram as well, because I really love the way that Instagram can create such a visual brand for you. So you just choose 1 or 2 and concentrate on them. I do also have Twitter and I have Pinterest. And I have a LinkedIn site and I post on them, but I don't post on them as regularly. I don't let it overwhelm me. I just post on them when I think I've got something interesting to say that it's going to be easy for me to share. My second tip is to use something to actually schedule in your social media. So there's lots of free tools out there, and there's some amazing paid for tools as well. I use Hootsuite to schedule my social media. It's especially great for Twitter, but it's really helpful. You can sit down on a Sunday night and just think about what you need to schedule for the week and schedule a few things in. It is important when you're scheduling that you keep checking back and seeing if anyone's commented and making sure that you reply to their comments and keep the conversation flowing. Otherwise you're going to sound like a bit of a robot. But Hootsuite is fantastic for that. Another one that is absolutely brilliant is Edgar. And the great thing about Edgar is it lets you post out content and then it will save it all in a library for you, and after a set amount of time it will repost it, so you don't actually lose content which you've posted out on social media, and you don't have to think about reposting it. It just does it for you. So obviously you want to make sure that it's general things that you're posting out in that way. You don't want to be posting something on Edgar and having it scheduled to repost in 5 months' time, which is relevant to this month or this day. But for your general content, for your memes, for everything that it just kind of links you back to your business, and this is a really fantastic tool for you to use, and I would really highly recommend scheduling in. And my third tip is actually to think of your social media on a weekly or a monthly basis. Don't try to schedule in 3 months, 6 months in advance, because there's no way you're going to keep up with that. Just try to schedule in on a weekly basis. I tend to do mine on a Sunday if I can, if I have the time. Sometimes it will be Monday morning. I'll schedule out some posts to go out, and then I'll also just check in once a day. And I think checking in once a day is really key, and this, I'm going to admit, is a work in progress for me, because I am a horror at getting stuck in the social media rabbit holes and just reading all kinds of random stuff, and then suddenly 3 hours have gone and I've been sat on my computer and not done any work. So try to schedule in a set time each day when you let yourself go on social media. You check all of your different social media profiles and you drop into a few groups and see what they're talking about as well. A bonus tip with groups, because I have been finding that a lot of the groups that I hang out in are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and becoming really unwieldy and overwhelming. There's just a constant stream of new questions, new comments coming up. You can't keep up with it, and you spend hours sat there scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I just don't think that's a good productive way to spend my time. So I've increasingly started using the search function in groups. You find it on the top right hand side. There's a little box. If you're you're accessing it from your PC or your Mac, there's a little box on the top left hand side that says search, and you can search for the keywords relating to your industry so that only the posts that really relate to you crop up, and then you can comment on those without feeling overwhelmed by the masses of information that's in there. So let me know in the comments below which social media profiles you're on, and leave a link to them so that we can all link with each other as well. And let me know what kind of techniques you're using to stay on top of your social media, because I'd really love to know.